Well, good morning, Sassy Stampers, and thanks for joining me again for a virtual meeting. This April card was created by JoAnn Gantos, and I think it's just beautiful. So this card these are Stampin' Up! Dies, and we're going to do a little pop-up. We're going to do a little embellishment here, more embellishment if you like, and then the inside, a nice card base, or a center piece with some patterned paper. So this card is really simple. It's going to be a very quick assembly. But the best thing about a nice simple card like this is that you can do so many things to embellish it however you like. You can do ink blending, you can use all kinds of different embellishments. These cute rhinestones, love these. But you can do anything you like. You can even create a background of your own instead of using patterned paper, or you can use any patterned paper that you like. Such a really pretty spring card. So let's get started on the assembly. We'll see what is in our card kit here, and I'm going to use a little bit different colored kit than what the example card was. This is just a little bit different. So let's explore your kit. This is my color, you guys. I love aquamarine, aquas, blue-green, whatever you want to call this color. One of my favorites. Inside your kit, she gave you an extra piece that you can use on another card at another time. And then here are the pieces that we'll be using with this card today. So we have our card base. Obviously, you're going to want to fold that if yours isn't already folded. I think she actually folded them all for us. For the inside of our card, we're going to have the part that we write on and our little piece of patterned paper. And for the front of our card, we have patterned paper. We have our framing cardstock. This darling wishing you the happiest of birthdays. She's given us dimensional pop-up adhesive so that we can pop this up. We have our butterfly and these gorgeous rhinestones. Now these she has included for you so that you can use them on a future card, and that is so beautiful. I can't wait to use that. It's going to be fun to color those leaves, then to adhere them along this edge like this and use that for another card. So I'm going to save that and use that one too. So let's get started with our assembly. The first thing you would want to do is score and fold your card base. Then you're going to want to adhere your patterned paper to your colored cardstock and make sure to frame it. So let's get that attached. I'm going to use tape runner for this. This happens to be a Glue Dots tape runner, one of many. It just happened to be the one that was closest that I could grab. I'm going to carefully line this up. One of the hardest things for me to do, actually. Now, because we know that we're going to have something across the top of this, I'm going to worry about the bottom three edges being better than the top. Okay. Now you want to go ahead and affix this to our card base. And once again, I know that I have something going across the top of it. So whenever I'm attaching this, I'm going to be much more careful to make sure that the bottom part of my card is lined up. But I can do 3 sides. Usually if you have 3 sides, the 4th side just works itself out. Now we're going to put this at the top of our card, and we really want this to stand out. So JoAnn has included these dimensionals for us. Obviously, if you're going to put this in the mail, whoops, I didn't quite want that where it landed, then you're going to want to use a few more dimensionals than if you hand it to someone, because through the mail, our cards get smashed through machines and it can kind of press down our cardstock that we intended to be a little bit bumped up and dimensional. You definitely want it along the top edges. And I am saving a dimensional for my butterfly. I put too many along that bottom edge, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Now I want to line this up. Whoops. It wants to stick down on me. Doesn't want to cooperate this morning. All right. And I want to press all of my little dimensionals down. To make my butterfly just a little bit more dimensional than he's already going to be with this pretty pop-up dimensional on him, I'm going to fold his wings up a little bit. Just going to bend them a little bit. Now, if you are so inclined, you could add some color to his wings. You could make his body dark. This is completely up to you. I think he's precious even without all of that, so I'm not going to do that. But I definitely don't want his wings or body or anything to interfere with my message. And I'm going to put him right there. Now it's time for our rhinestones. And you know, I'm really good at making these fly across the room. It seems to be my special talent. I love having one at the beginning. Oh, this is a good tip for you. When I remove this rhinestone, do you see how my adhesive is still, there's that piece of the butterfly stuck to me. My adhesive is wanting to stay on the paper. See how my adhesive, I don't know if you can see it, but it's right here. It's still on the paper. So I have a rhinestone with no adhesive on the back of it. If you happen to have mini glue dots, you can use them. You can also use a dot of a strong adhesive like Gina K Connect or your Line Co pH neutral. Probably Tombow will work as well. I don't know for certain because I tend to not use Tombow, especially this green Tombow tends to stay tacky afterwards, and because I'm a messy gluer, I like a glue that does not stay tacky. Now next month we're going to use this because it stays tacky. We're going to be happy that it does that. So every glue has its purpose. But here's another tip. Yes, it's stuck on there, and that just frustrates me no end. I can press it to my paper and then peel this backing away. I'm going to use a stylus to really press this down so it is really stuck to that paper. There you go. It does eventually work. So now my glue is there where I want it, and then I can carefully place my rhinestone in place right on top of that glue. and press it down. It is really frustrating when these don't want to come off, whenever our craft supplies don't want to behave the way we want them to behave. But since we know that that's tending to happen, look, it's doing it again on this one. I'm gonna do the same thing because my glue, well, you know what, this time I'm not gonna mess with that. This time I will just go ahead and put a dot of my strong adhesive. And I'm going to place my rhinestone right there into my little dot of glue. And see how I've got glue all around it? It looks very messy. It's going to dry clear. That's why I need a non-sticky clear glue. I need it to dry clear and not sticky. And I'm going to do one more rhinestone right here on the body of the butterfly. Little dot of glue. Try to be not quite as messy with this bit of glue. And place my rhinestone right here. I'm not using tweezers to place my rhinestones because I'll fling it across the room and never find it again. All right. Now, what we have left to do is to put inside our piece that you can write your message on, and this patterned paper along the base. Well, that just became the back. So we're going to I use my tape runner, and I'm going to attach this along the base part of my card. I'm going to line it up edge to edge. Oh, I just said this became the base of my card, and then I didn't do it correctly. So I've got to get rid of my yuck. One of the best ways to do that is to use a eraser, this Tombow Mono eraser. You can just erase many, many mistakes. Takes that adhesive right off of there. Now the smart thing would have been to make that the back of my card instead of the front. Now since my glue is still drying on my card here, I'm going to be careful whenever I put this in. And I'm going to adhere this portion of my card, the liner, into my card using tape runner. You could use liquid adhesive if you prefer. And line this up inside the card. And your card is done, all assembled. Really pretty card and nice and simple. Now, if you prefer, before you put this on, you can ink blend around the edge of it. You can color your butterfly. You can pop this up. You don't have to pop it up. There are so many options, but with some patterned paper and a pretty curvy die, we made a card in no time flat. Next month, we've got a card from Diana Krug, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do some emboss resist, and I think you'll enjoy it. And here are our two cards side by side. Love the sentiment. I love the way that these cards are simple and fun and quick to put together.